Welcome, friends and neighbors. My name is Lizveth, and today I am officially announcing my candidacy for Cicero Town President. This morning, I filed my candidacy paperwork required to seek office, and now I am ready to discuss what is needed to improve our quality of life here in Cicero. I am pleased to be joined by my parents, Jose and Juana Mendez, whose love and support has been my foundation. I was brought to this country by my parents at the age of 3 in search of the American dream. My father is a truck driver, and my mother has been a housewife, a factory worker, a union member, and caretaker. I grew up in Little Village and in the south side of Chicago, but soon after graduating from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, Cicero became my home. 8 years ago, I was appointed by the Illinois Attorney General, Lisa Madigan, to be her office's Latina Affairs Liaison. That has meant that for the past 8 years, I have spent my time in the neighborhood, working with families to do things like educate seniors about elder abuse and inform people about how to protect themselves from consumer fraud. In my position with the Attorney General, Lisa Madigan, I use government to help families. Similarly, I am running for Cicero Town President because for far too long, our town president has used town government to largely help just his family. As your town president, I will use town government to help you and your family. I have lived in Cicero for a better part of the past decade because I respect what Cicero is and I know what Cicero can be. Cicero is a family-oriented community. Whether immigrants came from Central America, Mexico, or anywhere else, for 150 years, Cicero has been a truly American community, a place that has drawn people from all over the world who have come in search of better opportunities and a better life. At the same time, we have struggled to realize the full benefits of the struggles of generations after generations of Cicero residents who worked diligently, played by the rules, and earned their place in America. What has prevented us from realizing all that Cicero can be is a political culture that allows the town president to behave like a feudal lord and to treat Cicero residents as his indentured servants. Time has been true under town presidents regardless of their race or ethnic heritage. It is time for that to change. I decided to run for Cicero Town President because it is time that we usher in a new generation of leadership and a new way of thinking. It is time for us to usher out Larry Dominic. Mr. Dominic promised us a new Cicero, yet we have gotten the same old thing. Mr. Dominic and his town attorney, Mr. Delgado, who is alleged to be Attorney A by a recent federal indictment, has lived well on our dime. Mr. Dominic has used town government, that is, our money, to finance his high-paying salaries for more than a dozen members of his family, while many Cicero residents have seen their jobs disappear. Mr. Delgado, Attorney A, as it is alleged by federal prosecutors, has made millions of dollars in legal fees. Mr. Delgado was building a $1 million mansion in Burr Ridge, while many Cicero families were suffering from the foreclosures of their homes. Mr. Dominic uses our money for his ridiculous security detail. Based on the number of sexual harassment suits targeting Mr. Dominic, it would seem that Cicero residents who need protection from him, and it's not the other way around. I, for one, am tired of financing the lavishing lifestyles and legal bills of Mr. Dominic and Mr. Delgado. My family left Mexico to get away from such corruption, and I refuse to stay silent in my community. Since deciding to run for town president, I have spent the last several months countless hours each day walking door to door, neighborhood by neighborhood, to to find out if Cicero residents agree with me. I have asked my neighbors what changes they would like to see. Cicero residents are not fooled by Mr. Dominic's circus show, a Christmas toy giveaway, glossy mailings, and a few of annual festivities are nice, but they don't pay the bills. They don't create economic opportunities, and they do not help Cicero families find what they truly want. The lasting means to self-sufficiency, such that they can determine their own destiny rather than be subservient to a town governed by their financing. But it doesn't have to be this way. We can have a better representation. We can have a better Cicero. And it starts with you. I know there are skeptics, and people have a lot of reasons to doubt that there can be true change. But remember that change is inevitable. The only question is, what kind of change are we going to get? Are we going to change for the worse by continuing to empower politicians like Mr. Dominic who serve themselves at our expense? Or are we going to take responsibility for our circumstances and work to change things for the better by electing people who have the same respect for your hard-earned money as they do for theirs? Are we going to change for the worse by continuing to allow town government to operate behind closed doors, where Mr. Dominic carves up a piece of a pie for his own friends and family? Or are we going to change things for the better by demanding a transparent government so that you see where the money comes from and see where it goes? Are we going to change things for the worse by letting politicians like Mr. Dominic have a special set of laws that exempt him from the laws that govern us? Or are we going to change things for the better by demanding everyone be treated equally under the law where the standard is what you do and not who you know? We have had enough of professional thievery in Cicero. It is time we have professional leadership in town government. I earned an MBA from the University of Notre Dame to obtain the necessary educational background to turn around failing enterprises like the town of Cicero. The question in this election is not who has the biggest war chest or which politician is getting the most endorsements from other politicians. The question is, who do you believe will use town government to serve you instead of him? If you look at the track record of both Mr. Dominic and my other opponent, Mr. Ochoa, they have repeatedly and consistently demonstrated who they will serve. By contrast, my record speaks of my service to my community. This campaign is a street fight. I am ready for it. This race is going to be determined on the street. Which candidate, not their minions, but the actual candidate will engage residents and honestly address their concerns with specific policy improvements. To move Cicero forward, we cannot allow Mr. Dominic's cynical politics to derail the reforms these times demand. Town government belongs to you. I am calling on you to participate. I am specifically calling on young people and new Americans who may feel intimidated into believing they don't have a voice in Cicero, but to go ahead and make their voices heard. The great thing about Cicero, as it is with this great country called America, it is that there's always time for renewal. If we do not like the path we're on, we can change it. I am asking you to help me. I am Lizveth Mendez, and I want to be your next Cicero Town President. That's Lizveth with a V, as in vision. That's with a V, as in values. That's with a V, as in vote. Thank you, and God bless you.